today I'm having to feel it to heal it. And I allow and admit and tell myself that it's safe to feel like I'm not good enough. It's safe to feel shame. It's safe to feel lonely and like I want to run away from myself. These are the labels that I can feel right now, but there's some other stuff there as well that I can feel my analytical mind trying to label. And I'm just rewiring my mind to start to teach it that I don't need to label anymore and just to allow this emotion to be there. It's very uncomfortable. That's why we want to latch on to a label, because we want to know, what is this? I must know what I'm feeling right now. But if you come out of your head and into your heart and just let it come up, come out, move through you. Just walk in nature and allow Mama Gaia to take this away from you. A great one is your left side is your feminine energy, so it's all around receptive energy. So you can call in the light, visualize beautiful golden healing light or white healing light. Whatever colour, the first one that comes to your head is usually the one that you need. Don't overthink it. Your subconscious mind is all knowing and very powerful. And when you go to overanalyze, that's when you know you're in your unconscious. When you're in your conscious mind and you're trying to analyze and you're in your ego. So just flow. Surrender to the first thought that pops into your head right now. Blue's coming into my head, so I'm going to call in blue energy, which is protective energy. But you don't have to know. It doesn't matter. Like me, I think I overanalyze a little bit. I allow and admit that I overanalyze everything. Not everything, that's generalizing. And this is why I allow and admit, I know it can get a bit tedious, right? That I get overwhelmed. I allow and admit that I feel burnt out. And even though sometimes I feel not worthy enough, like a lot of people have unconscious beliefs that they're not worthy enough, which is why we self-sabotage and numb and have bad habits and addictions. We are all good enough. And we can only do something about it when we're aware, when we see the truth. And the truth can hurt, the truth can piss you off, but it will set you free. So call in that beautiful love and energy through your receptive feminine side, through your left leg when you're in earth, when you're on soil or sand or just connected to Mama Gaia. Call it up, and then any negative energy, whether you want to label it or whether you don't, you can just imagine it like dark matter, dark clouds, whatever it is, like scissors, knives, black bags. It really, really doesn't matter. Whatever it comes up for you is okay. Let it all go through your right leg. Give it to Mother Earth or lay it on God or Source, Divine's altar, because they're waiting. They're here to take it away for you. They want to help you. They want to support you. They want to guide you. However, we have free will. So they can't intervene unless we ask them. So every day, we must call them in. And I don't know where I would be without my faith. I certainly don't think that I would be able to be living by myself. Have moved to Australia all on my own without any family and gone through everything that I've gone through today without having some kind of faith and belief that I'm being watched over, you know, that everything will work out and there's divine guidance there. So today I'm just going to let the emotions surface. And I think it's because I've been working pretty hard in my other job. It's meant to be a part-time job, but I took on a few more hours lately. And this is a bit of a distraction from me. So I wake up, I feel like I've got a purpose. I'm like, woohoo, yeah, got something to do today. So then when I have days where I have to sit with me, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, no one needs me today. I'm not wanted. I actually have to sit with myself and the loneliness. And I always notice in my head of when I want to seek externally, whether that be you want to pick up your phone, whether that be you're craving a cigarette or a coffee, or to start gossiping about someone or pick up a bad habit, whatever that be, where like anything external that you're reaching outside of you, that is to fill some kind of void inside of you and to feel some kind of human need. And we have 6 human needs, and we will feel them negatively if we don't feel them positively. So usually when I am seeking externally or find my mind going here, I just take a deep breath, center back into my heart, get out of my head, become present and say, okay, what is it I actually need right now? Love, connection. How can I give this to myself? Variety. These are the human needs, some of them. And yeah, usually I can meditate. I can do a bit of breath work, and this will help me feel a little bit better. It may not work. It may work. It usually does always make me feel better and help my mind not be so chatty. I've gotten in a bit of a bad routine around watching Netflix before I go to bed. So I think because someone's talking and I didn't meditate before I went to bed, I wake up and my mind's a bit chatty. So that's a habit that I'm looking to break, that I've been giving myself a lot of shame around. Allow and admit, whoop. And it's safe to feel shame. It's okay. So I get quite identified with that feeling, that emotion, because I've got that big fat label going on. I know the name of it. So that gets latched onto, if that makes sense, you know? So I used to get to the point where I would actually forget to breathe. I would actually be like, whoa, I haven't breathed for a while. Breath is everything. Just come back to the breath, come back to your heart center. I also have a list which really helps me of 5 internal things I can do when I feel overwhelmed and 5 external things. So 5 internal would be things you can do by yourself that you don't need any other person or external force to help you with. So myself, I could go for a walk, get in nature. I could listen to music. I could have a dance. I could journal. I could meditate. And then external would be things like walk with a friend, get a coffee with a friend, or get a massage, acupuncture, whatever it may be that someone else or something else that you need to help you. But try and make these things as well a few things on the list that you can do anywhere. So even if you're at work, say for instance, you're saying, touch nature, calm me down. Well, if you work in an office and there's no nature next to you and you need help calming down, that's not going to work. So put some things on there that help you immediately. So breath is always amazing. Counting breath. You know, there's a reason that people come in and go, just count to 10, you know, it freaking works. Or take a big breath. A big deep breath, or you know, when you've had a long hard day and you're knackered or overwhelmed, whatever it is, and you walk through that door, what's the first thing we do? We take a big breath and we sigh and we release, we let go those energies. So, you know, anytime we're suppressing or resisting energies, anger, or if perhaps we've been taught this way, it's going to store somewhere. So it's going to eventually come out. And I got a bit overwhelmed lately with, I guess, that I feel like I've been doing a lot of this work and turning into self-love and self-development, self-growth. And I've had a lot of health stuff come up for me, you know. So I guess it was difficult because I'm being taught patience and that there's no destination. It's always a journey. If you're looking for the destination, you're always going to be disappointed. It's about staying present with the journey. So, you know, it's one thing me coming at you saying, feel it to heal it. Woo! Walk into the darkness and you will see the light. You know, like when you're in the light, it's easy to say. But when you're in the darkness, you're like, fuck. And you can feel like a bit of a hypocrite because you can get your natural instincts, and especially if you've been taught this way, is to resist. So I allow and admit that I can feel like a hypocrite sometimes, because being a mindset coach, I used to think that I needed all the answers. But you don't. We're all human. As long as you're doing your best and you're being a good person, that's all that matters. Big deep breath. Breathe. We'll all be okay. We're never given more than we can handle. And when I say this out loud, I'm talking to myself as well. I need this advice as much as you guys, you know. So, God, I feel better after talking about that. A release, you know. So even just like, sometimes it doesn't need to be in front of the camera. Sometimes, especially living on my own now, I will actually speak out loud. Sometimes I'm not massively keen on journaling. Some things don't work for me. One thing that works for you may not work for me. So I sit here and I say things out loud. If I've had a bit of maybe a disagreement in the day, and I can sometimes overanalyze as well, and I'll go in and say, like, how could I have done that differently? Like, maybe I made a mistake. I can acknowledge that I was being a bit of a people pleaser there. So if I was being my true self in this situation without wearing any mask, what would I really have said to this person? Because then as well, you're unblocking your throat chakra, because when you're not speaking your truth to whoever it is at that moment in time, you're blocking your throat chakra. But when you acknowledge it and then you do speak your truth, and the next time you begin to speak your truth, you actually skip timelines as well. You go to your highest timeline in your truest self and truest form. So yeah, follow me if you would like any more tips, advice, you resonate with this stuff, and don't follow me if you don't. Lots of love to you all. Love and light, blessings, and have a beautiful day. Feel into the uncomfort. It will always be okay. It's only temporary. Yes, in the moment you can feel like, fuck, what the hell is going on? This is so hard. Help me, SOS. Scotty, beam me up. I am out. This is too much for me. Because, well, I am an emotional person. I'm a very emotional, very sensitive person. And I had to, when I was younger, build these walls, suppress a lot of stuff, because that was how the world was. My mum, when she was younger, didn't even have a word for anxiety or depression. So here we are. It's a lot more accepted now. We're being taught a different way. We're being taught a way in a world more of conscious living. So I'm just going to keep following my heart. And my best advice for you is to do the same, but you got to feel into it. Only you will know. This is my perspective. This is just me coming from what works for me. What works for you may be completely different. Only you will know. You have all the answers within you. We never need to seek externally. We will always know when we tap into our heart center. Mwah. Love, light, blessings to you all.